Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Mr. Ted Pryor. Mr. Ted Pryor.
Thompson. Fire thrown by Ted Pryor. A good right hand, good left.
The new Florida middleweight professional.
And 8 KOs to his credit. From Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Mr. Ted Pryor. One KO to his credit from Oceanside, California, Mr. Don Straub.
You know, I think Ted Pryor brought all of Fort Lauderdale with him the way
yes,
they're cheering.
we can. This is a super middleweight division, 171 pounds, and Straub 168. Early into round one. Nice kick there. Immediate action early into round one. Straub looks slightly taller than his opponent, Pryor. Oh, beautiful. Just as soon as I say it, sure enough.
I think Ted Pryor has had quite a bit more experience, hasn't he?
Yes, he has. Pryor's had 27 victories as opposed to Straub's only 7.
I mean, that's a big difference.
Yes, it is. But that's the name of the game. You just have to build up a record.
Oh, wow.
Full contact has become very popular in the Florida area. Consequently, Pryor has had more opportunity to get a record build up.
I see.
That at least would be my guess.
Where is Don Straub from?
He's from San Diego. Fighters looking over towards the corners from time to time, you'll observe, trying to get some extra instruction. What do I do next, Coach?
Oh, boy.
Body shots. Oh, a beautiful right there.
Gee, there's so many different punching techniques, aren't there?
Yeah, more so than in boxing. Boxers use jabs, hooks, uppercuts, crosses. The full contact fighter will use backhands, spinning backhands. Oh, a beautiful right-left combination. Knocks the man into the rope. Excellent uppercut.
The audience going crazy.
They love it. Great action. And there's the bell and the ground one. Listen to this audience. They love it. He will determine if they can really gop it on. A little Vaseline is acceptable. To round two. Pryor comes fighting right back.
You know, this is a very important fight. It's for the super middleweight title, isn't it?
No, I don't believe it's a title fight, Marianne.
Oh,
this is a fight. No, it's a 5-round fight. Generally, title fights are anywhere from 9 to 11 rounds. Beautiful shots being landed there. Right roundhouse kick into the body, pressing his opponent against the ropes. In the background, Marianne, you can hear the fans
Pryor.
of Pryor yelling,
Yeah.
kicks, kicks, kicks. Each fighter must throw 8 kicks per round. There are ring cards over here that the audience can see. And his fans in the background keep him informed. 2 more kicks, 1 more kick.
Oh,
They want to make
that's
sure
a
he
definite
doesn't.
advantage
Oh,
for
yes.
him.
Well,
Really
see, if you
is.
don't make all your kicks at the end of the round, they're deducted from your points.
There's so many
it's
different
important.
types of kicks too, aren't there?
Yes, they all count as long as they're thrown with the intent to make contact.
Oh, I think he hurt him below the waist.
Yeah. Might have been a low blow. We don't see any call from the referee.
Is that legal? I thought
Below the
I
belt
saw
line?
him.
Below the belt line, no, it is
I
not.
thought I saw him punch below the belt line.
No, it's not. All right, there's the end of the round. Round 2.
They don't seem to be getting tired yet, do they?
No, it's a little early yet. This is just a round of start of round 3. They're both not particularly heavy, so normally it's not until about the 4th or 5th round that you'll see it. Pryor and his fans
going
on the
crazy.
a little bit. Yeah.
3 kicks. Here we go.
Here comes Scott. Got Pryor up against the ropes there for a second. Pushes him off. I believe he just received a warning for headbutting.
How
That
many
is
kicks
Pryor
did you
did.
say are they supposed to have in?
There are 8 mandatory kicks. You
In
have
each
to get
round?
in each round. You must kick at least 8 times. You can kick more than that, but you must at least get in 8. Oh, a beautiful body shot there.
Are kicks more devastating or are blows?
Beautiful right. Yeah, Pryor's really pressing Scott now. There is advantage. It looks like he's hurt. Listen to this crowd. Pryor being pushed on there. He's hanging on now. Scott just hanging on. Down Straub is definitely hurt. Ted Pryor looked like he might have had him there for a minute. Oh, another overhand. Beautiful right by Ted Pryor. There's no stalling by these fighters, as you'll notice. They just get in and rail. And there's the bell. And they get a big hand. It's a nice round. End of round 3. Shooting shots into the body. There's a beautiful overhand right by Straub. I think that's the first.
This is round 4.
Round 4. Scheduled for 5. 2 rounds to go. Roughly 2 minutes of fighting. An obvious biased crowd behind us here. Oh, beautiful right roundhouse kick by Pryor.
Oh, wow, look at that.
Straub trying to fight back. Now they're starting to look a little bit tired. Oh, a beautiful side thrust kick into the body. Just knocks Straub back and off balance.
What is the most
Oh,
deadly
gorgeous
kick?
left hook there by, excuse me. Nice right. Straub coming back hard. And Pryor ducking out of it. Sorry, Marianne.
What is the most deadliest kick? Side kick or what kind?
Gee, that's tough. Of course, it depends on landing. Generally speaking, a side thrust kick or any type of a thrust kick is going to have a tremendous amount of penetration if it lands properly. Probably in full contact, the deadliest type is a spinning back kick. It's the most difficult to execute. But if a man hits you with a spinning back kick,
Yeah.
that's it. He makes solid contact with the body of their head, that's all over.
I see. Have they been doing that in this particular
This
match?
particular fight, I have not seen any.
No. Have you
Generally
seen it
speaking, they're
today?
popular. No, not so far, not yet.
Well, when it comes on, I'd like you to tell me.
Sure, be glad to.
Okay?
I believe, now we're into round 4. I'm looking around to see if we have all the kicks in. Yeah, the cards are down. So they've made all their kicks. As the rounds go on, it's more and more difficult to meet that quota. And there's the bell. Don Straub coming on very strong at the end of the round. I'm sorry, more like 6'1" in the case of Straub. Pryor is more like, maybe 5'10", 5'11". I don't think he's quite 6 foot.
I see.
In other words, Straub has the reach advantage. Straub comes right out.
This is the 6th round, right?
I have it as the 5th.
Oh.
But I'm going to check with Howard. Howard's sitting next to me here. We'll check and make sure what the
Okay.
distance is. Okay, the official word from the WKA, the World Karate Association, is you're right. This is 7 rounds. 7 rounds of action. Look at these guys mixing it up.
Oh, boy.
You can hear them grunt as they
They're
make
really
contact.
punching, aren't they?
Yeah, what they call a ki in
Is it legal to hold on like that?
Yeah, the referee prefers that you do not. He wants clean fighting, but yeah, it's legal to hold on. And the referee, of course, has to break the clinch and start the fight again. Oh, a gorgeous combination there. A right to the body followed by a left hook. On the other hand, Straub comes right back. That was a classical move on the part of Pryor. Beautiful body shot and then back. And Straub didn't seem to be hurt by it. Twisting, throwing into the ring. That's a warning. That's a warning to Straub. Obviously, the Pryor fans in the audience didn't like it either. You cannot grapple with your opponent and throw him. Yeah, they're getting tired now. This is the 5th round, 2 to go.
Do you think there might be a knockout? Or will they go till 7?
Well, you love to put me on the spot, don't you?
Yeah, you know everything.
No, not quite everything. That's the end of the round. Round 6 will be coming up. Again, it's impossible to predict. The variables are how tired are these guys? How good are their corner men? Have they brought them back? Corner man is one of probably the most important thing. My guess is no. I don't think this will end in a knockout.
No?
No, I really don't. The fighters are awfully tired at this point.
Yeah.
If it ends in a knockout, it'll be a flurry. One fighter will just suddenly spring out, make a couple of good shots like we're seeing here now. But the question is, after he has his opponent stunned, does he have enough strength left to put him away?
You know, Dave Straub is really doing good for the amount of experience that
He has had. That's true.
I mean,
And of
he's
course,
doing fabulously.
he's up against a very experienced fighter. There's a beautiful side thrust kick. Both fighters really tired at this point. We're in round 6. There was a big, beautiful left hook. If that had connected, I think the fight probably would have been over. Oh, nice sticking left by Pryor. This is a seesaw battle. One man gets a few shots in, the next guy comes right back and nails again. Look at these body shots. They really tell. Look at him over in the corner, just wailing on him.
I think he's getting tired.
Yeah, they're both really tired. Nice overhand right by Straub. There's some more body shots by Pryor. Referee breaks them. We're in the latter parts of round 6. Super middleweight division. 168 and 171 respectively. And there's the bell. Goes on the body of it. Look at that. Look at this. Look at this. Pryor is goading his opponent. Hard to tell, Marianne. It's hard to tell. It looks like Straub is really down. He's extremely tired. Ted Pryor seemed to know it, and he wants it. He wants it this round. He was out of his corner, walked over to Straub's corner, almost in it, said, come on, buddy, let's get it on. Look at this. He wants to win this by a knockout. If he does it, it'll have to be done now, the 7th and final round.
You know, Ted Pryor is quite a showman also.
Yes, he is.
He really is.
course, he's got his hometown here behind him, Fort Lauderdale.
Yes.
All the way out here to Las Vegas. The city itself is a glamour city. Fighter can't help but be influenced by all of that. But I got work. Whoa! Look at that. It's going crazy behind us here. The crowd obviously loves it. That was an attempted, actually a double wheeling, spinning back number by Straub. A desperation move, perhaps.
Straub is putting up a good fight.
Yes, he has.
He really is. You know, there's so much,
He's only had
too many
7
people
fights.
rooting for Pryor. I wonder what it does to his head.
Look at this. Just wailing. If Don gets through this, we're going to have to give him a lot of credit, Marianne.
Oh, I'll say.
How about that? He went the distance. Made it all the way. Great fight. Here we see Pryor. I think Ted Pryor was a little disappointed, but as you hear.
The winner of this bout is Mr. Ted Pryor.
Yes, we got it. We got it. I think he deserved it.
Look who's behind us. Look at his fans.
Yeah.
They're going crazy. They're really happy.
There they are. We've got a close-up of the fans all the way from Fort Lauderdale.
Mr. Pryor will be
All the way to
fighting
Las
November
Vegas.
10th for the World Championship in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, I've been told.
In the world of high fashion, sure, the model's clothing has to look good, but the model has to look even better. But what would you think about a model who makes his living getting black eyes and swollen lips? Well, the Fort Lauderdale model we're about to meet makes his living in just that way. But he has kind of a double life, because when he makes his quick change, it's to boxing shorts and a mouth guard, because he's a karate kickboxer. Entering a ring faces a possible 180-degree turnaround in his life. A few minutes in the ring can change his health, his appearance, or his title. This is especially true of Ted Pryor. He's a professional kickboxer, but each kick to the body, each punch to the face can affect his other occupation as a fashion model.
1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1.
The chance of a broken nose or cauliflower ears doesn't seem to hinder this Hollywood model's fighting ambition. His goals have always been to become an actor and a world champion fighter. Both dreams may come true in the ring tonight. Before a crowd looking for bruises and a Japanese film producer looking for a star, Ted will be fighting the fight of his life for a world title in kickboxing.
Everything that I've ever got was from karate, so that's my bread and butter. Good, nice smile.
Modeling is really only a stepping stone career for Ted. He became interested in it for one reason.
I always wanted to be a movie star. I always wanted to be an actor, and I knew that the best way to get there is get known by the public. I started modeling just because of it's helped me in the movie career. It helped me be photogenic. It helped me look good for the cameras, so when they do a movie scene, I know how to present myself in front of a camera.
Posing for local commercials and for magazines like Karate Today, Ted has a unique problem compared to other models. He must schedule himself around his career as a kickboxer, and that often means allowing time for his bruises to heal.
I'm not really gorgeous, and I'm not really ugly, and whatever looks I got, I like to try to keep. So when I'm fighting in the ring, I try to be smart. I don't try to get hit too much, so that I'm able to model and get an acting career by being a smart fighter.
More strong. You said you're more strong. I think you should fight again.
Okay.
7 years of fighting and modeling began to pay off for Ted this year. A Japanese film producer spotted him at a competition in Hong Kong, and lo and behold, he flew to Florida to offer Ted his first role in a movie. It will be an action-packed adventure in the true tradition of Bruce Lee. But it was more than just Ted's expertise in karate that caught this director's eye.
He's got a good image, you know, because he looks like Chuck Norris a little bit, you know, for the Chinese people, you know, that's what they thought, you know, he's a big star, right? So I think he's a good material, you know, for movies.
I didn't think it'd be this hard. It's a job. I mean, fighting actually is easier to me than acting. I mean, it's tough, very tough.
Okay, try the fight scenes again.
If you don't fight for me, you won't fight for anybody.
He's got anger, you know, like
Don's
he's
got
very
anger.
angry, yeah.
The Japanese film producer is here for more than just a rough rehearsal with Ted. He has one world karate champion, Don Wilson, already starring in his movie, but he's expecting another world champion in Ted Pryor. That opportunity will come tonight in a title bout for the World Super Middleweight Championship. It will be the biggest fight of Ted's life, and his performance, needed to win such a title, will be anything but an act.
If I lose, it's not the end of the ropes for me. I can keep right back in, but I don't even think about losing. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to win and win big.
It will be 11 3-minute rounds of grueling boxing and kicking against his competitor, Steve Mackey of Kansas City. It's here in the ring that Ted becomes the fighter. All thoughts of what it can do to his modeling or acting career disappear for the moment.
If I get hit, I get cut, I don't think about, well, I'm cut, I got to get out of the ring so I'll get it stitched up. I think that if I can go on, I got to keep going on and win this fight.
Even after 28 wins in the ring, the fight never gets easier for Ted. The pounding is constant and the pain excruciating. But even when the pressure is for a world title, his thoughts as a fighter remain the same.
I'm out there, I don't want to try to kill anybody. I'm there for the sport mainly. I'm out there to try to win the fight. I'm not there to try to hurt him. I don't dislike my opponents. It's a sport. It's like football. No one tries to hurt anybody. But the pressure's on me right now, and I seem to fight better when the pressure's on. I mean, there's more than just a world title fight on the line here tonight. My whole career is on the line tonight.
Call by 2 of the judges, a difference of only 1 point. But scoring by the 3rd judge makes the difference.
Judge Bernie scores at 104-105. The winner, Ted Pryor.
Fashion model, actor, and now world champion. For the boyhood dreams of Ted Pryor, this was his ultimate dream come true.
I feel like a diamond in mud. That's how I feel. Like diamond in mud. Our mother died 2 years ago of cancer. Before she died, she said one thing: win that world title for me. This one.
Let's meet Larry Shepard. He was the former middleweight champion of the world from Florida, Florida. Let's hear it for Ted Pryor. 6 rounds. number 3, scheduled for 6.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time I would like to introduce to you our fighters for a 7-round middleweight Southeast title fight. First, from Hollywood, Florida, number 10 ranked light heavy middleweight in the world at 170, Ted Executioner Pryor. Number 5th ranked middleweight in the world from Washington, D.C., Mr. Rodney Batman Batista.
And Rodney Batista being introduced as Don Wilson pointed out earlier, very good boxing skills. He's 8-0 as a professional boxer.
Trainer in second with Mr. Pryor is Don Wilson.
Our center referee, Bill LaCorey, is also the trainer for the U.S. super lightweight champion, Michael Bell. You see he's wearing a shirt that says Ted Pryor in the middleweight division. This is round 1. Remember, each fighter must kick a minimum of 8 kicks per round.
I'm guessing that Ted Pryor's battle plan here is to try to keep Batista unbalanced with a left-hand jab. Try to use a little reach advantage that he has on Batista.
Batista working the front kicks to the body.
Expect both men to really use the first round. When you get to this level of competition, using the first round to feel one another out.
Ted Pryor is fighting with a record of 23 wins, only 4 losses. Batista with 20 wins, only 2 losses.
Batista said he did not think this fight would go to the end of the 4th round. Ted Pryor said he thought he would win this fight on a decision.
Pryor in the black pants, Batista in the yellow pants. Batista is number 4 rated, Pryor number 10 rated. This is a very important fight for both of these fighters.
Batista with his arms high then, letting Pryor land the body punches, coming back out with a left-right, left round kick combination.
Pryor smiling after that combination. I don't believe he was hurt. Batista just allows Pryor to wail away at the body when they're in close like that. He's not really worried about getting hurt. He just wants Pryor to wear himself out.
Pryor leaning on him against the ropes. Batista just content to stay there and work with him.
Pryor reaching around, holding on. Batista again not wasting any energy. This is the mark of an experienced fighter. And at the bell, the end of round 1. We'll be back after this. Ready for round number 2, scheduled for 7.
That first round was definitely a feeling out round. Looked to me that Batista might be a little stronger of the two, physically stronger in that round. Pryor looking like he wanted to probably spend a lot of the fight inside, working with the hands in a boxing style, or outside trying to throw the jab.
Batista talked to us about his injury. It was an ankle injury, but he doesn't seem to be hurting from that now. He seems to be perfectly healed. He's kicking with both legs, landing him up against the arms, the kind of blows that could hurt his feet were they not in perfect condition. That was a very quick right punch by Batista.
Batista with a front leg swing kick. Pryor picked it off with the left glove. Spinning back kick by Pryor, slightly on the body, mostly on the forearm of Rodney Batista. Made a good sound. Corner liked it.
Pryor moving in very quickly, jamming that left round kick of Batista. Good move on his part. Batista backs him into the ropes, lands one jab before Pryor ties him up. Both fighters exchanging those short inside punches. Looked like Pryor got a left hook in. It made Rodney mad.
Pryor holding the arms there just before the break. Pryor looking a lot more confident than I anticipated him to look at this point in the fight. Solid uppercut then by Batiste.
Batiste backing Pryor across the ring and then deciding not to move in at the last second. That's the end of round number 2. We'll be back with round 3 right after this.
He caught Batiste with one good hook in that round. Batiste caught him with one good uppercut in that round. Batiste with 15 kicks in the second round. Pryor with 9.
Batiste kicking a lot harder in this round and landing that right hand to the body. You can see Batiste is moving a lot quicker. He has more body fakes, more shoulder movement in this third round. Batiste in yellow, Pryor in black. There was a hard uppercut to the body, followed by a right hand to the head. Pryor ducked up underneath it. Doesn't seem like he's hurt. There's a spinning heel kick, blocked by Pryor. And a double left hook by Rodney Batiste. Batiste seems to be picking his shots very well in this third round. And with a flurry of punches, Batiste moves out and then back into the clinches. 30 seconds left in round 3. We're scheduled for 7 between Rodney Batiste, number 4 rated, and Ted Pryor, number 10 rated.
Batiste moving in with that left hook. Pryor, as I say, with a good defense, keeping the hands up. He's been picking those charges off with the gloves up.
And we're coming to the closing seconds of round number 3. We'll be back with round 4 right after this. And Ted Pryor on the right of your screen.
Batiste been picking the pace up from the second round, third round. Been going a little stronger in each round. Pryor's defense still good. Still picking off most of the blows.
There's a hard right hand by Batiste. Pryor was moving away from it. He took a lot of the effect of the blow away with him. Moves in with his own left-right combination. And a left hook landing as Pryor came off the rope. Not a whole lot of damage so far. There's another hard right hand by Batiste. That left-right combination is beginning to work for him. Fighters tying up on the ropes. Bill LaCory breaking them up. There's a Pryor left hook that glanced off the nose of Batiste.
Lead left hook. Good shot right on the cheekbone. Pryor working very effectively inside. Batiste catching him with that right uppercut.
20 seconds left in round 4. And they're against the ropes. Batiste trying to get Pryor off of him. Pryor working in the corner, working in closes. There's a left round kick by Batiste. Pryor grabbed his foot momentarily, but he let it go, remembering that it is a foul. We're coming to a close of round number 4. Pryor again working Batiste on the ropes. We'll be back with round 5 right after this.
So far, Batiste with 11, a total of 50 so far in the fight.
Pryor definitely depending on his boxing skills. There's a right hand that buckled the knees of Pryor. He's hurt, holding on. And very effectively, he was able to hold on, tie up Rodney Batiste's arms so that he got out of trouble when he might have gone down. Batiste sensing the kill, moving forward across the ring. Another right hand, that one glancing off high on the head of Ted Pryor. Pryor has not been landing with the power that Batista's shown us. He's a very skilled fighter, very poised, but not landing with the power that it's going to take to put another man down.
Pryor fighting very smart once he gets inside, keeping Batiste tied up, working the hands inside. Not hurting Batiste, but keeping him tied up.
Almost ducking into that left hook. Pryor comes up, working inside again. Batiste came off that hook with a fury. 30 seconds left in round 5. We're scheduled for 7 rounds, 8 kicks minimum in each round. There's a right hand by Pryor that seemed to stagger Batiste for only a second.
Use your left, kid.
Pryor again with Batiste back up against the ropes at the end of round 5. We'll be back with round 6 right after this. Finish him off. And Rodney Batiste starts with a jump spinning heel kick. No land. The blow did not land, no effect. Very showy on his part. This is round 6. We're scheduled for 7, the next to the last round.
I had Batiste winning that last round by virtue of that right hand, but he's down in Pryor country. He should definitely win a fight big when he's in a man's own backyard.
Batiste now cocky, showing nothing but disdain for Ted Pryor. I don't believe he thinks Pryor can hurt him.
Pryor, it seems like, has been setting that left hook up that just came then, working the body and then trying to nail him with the left hook coming off.
Spinning back fist on the arm of Ted Pryor. As you pointed out, Joe, Pryor has a way of making a fighter look bad, and he is really tying up Rodney Batiste against the ropes.
Keep him there, keep him there. Keep him there, push. Push.
Takes a lot of action out of the fight when you fight in close like that, when you keep tying up. As long as one man's arms are free, the referee can let the action continue as long as he feels that one man is working and throwing punches.
Pryor seems to have a game plan. It's just move forward, put your head on Batiste's chest, and then try to get those rabbit punches in close. And there's the bell. We'll be back with the 7th and final round right after this. Batiste looked over at us and said, this is the round he goes down. We'll see if he can live up to that prediction. Batiste now fighting back off the ropes, backing Pryor up.
Pryor's game plan is to stay inside, keep working those shots to the body, and then come off like he did then to the head.
A couple of those Pryor left hooks and right hands landed.
Pryor setting up those body shots again.
There's a round kick to the side of the head. Batiste pushed Pryor away, landed that round kick right on the ear.
Good solid kick. It was just at the extended point of the kick, so Pryor was able to get out of the way of most of the power.
Rodney Batiste has kicked 10 times so far in this round. Ted Pryor has kicked once. This could be a determining factor. If Ted Pryor does not get his kicks in, the 2 points per kick are subtracted from a 10-point must score. I don't know if Ted Pryor's game plan is backfiring on him. His game plan of fighting in close.
Judge Heinberger scoring the fight 55-65. Judge Glenn Wilson scoring the fight 58-65. Judge LaCory scoring the fight 57-63. By a unanimous decision, our winner, Rodney Batman Batista.
And even without the 5-point foul, Rodney Batiste was way ahead. The 10 points. Ted Pryor is the number 10 rated middleweight in the world. And he has 7 wins of his 24 by knockout in Hollywood, Florida. This is round 1, scheduled for 5. The fighters bow as they come into the ring, bump gloves, and now it's war.
Ted Pryor, a very poised fighter. Comes out a little different tonight than normally. Comes out with strong punches and kicks.
Pryor prides himself not only in his kicking ability, but in his boxing ability. He has been really polishing up the boxing ability, and there you see one of those karate kicks.
Pryor really just feeling his opponent out at this point. Seeing what his opponent will do when he lands some of those hard shots to the body.
Pryor has a reputation as a spoiler. He has a tendency to make even good fighters look bad. When he's fighting a really good fighter, he can tie him up on the ropes. He can move inside just at the wrong time and make the other fighter not look as good. We saw him fighting Rodney Batiste, who's our main event tonight. And in that fight, Batiste was not able to knock him out. He was able to beat him, but wasn't able to really look good and work hard against Ted Pryor. Pryor, on the other hand, very confident fighter and a very competent fighter.
Ted Pryor has the ability to lull you to sleep and then explode with kicks and punches.
He's landing that left jab very effectively. Herant's down now. Pryor being warned for hitting while he's down. It was a slip. Oh, it is a knockdown. Referee picking up the count. And that's 8.
He did hit him, and he bounced right back off the ropes onto his knees, so that is...
He's up by the count of 8. The fight continues. Another round kick to the head. Herantz may be in trouble because he should not have gone down from that kick.
Seems to be getting his eye back now.
There's the end of round 1, and Herantz is up dancing at the end of that round. And he doesn't really look back into Pryor's mouth, and there was a delay starting this round. About 10 extra seconds for Herantz to get himself back together.
Oh, I wish they'd do that in some of my fights.
A hook kick landed that time, but no power in it. It was on the end of the kick. All the power had been dissipated. Pryor seems to be able to show off his fancy moves in this fight. Side kicks, round kicks, hook kicks.
Herantz has reddened Pryor's nose with a couple of those stiff left jabs. Pryor's still in control, though.
Pryor working, using those kicks, picking his shots. Not really worried by Herantz. I think he knows he's in control. Herantz down again now. Hit the ground, covering up. There you hear the count. At the count of 8, they continue.
Pryor's amazed that he's gone down.
Herantz definitely outclassed. He's a good fighter. He's in shape. The muscle definition is there, but the heart is not.
Four fights against 30 fights. That's a big difference. That makes a lot of difference in a fight like this.
Oh, good jump front kick coming out of that clinch by Herrance. He's got the technique. All he needs is a little more experience.
He's not confident enough at this point that he can hurt Pryor, even though he can. He's strong enough. Good polished techniques. He's just not putting them together yet.
I'm impressed with the hands and the feet of Herrance. I'm just not impressed by the way he seems to give up under the pressure. When Pryor decides to put the pressure on, he goes down almost before he's hit. I think Pryor's holding back because this is a tune-up bout. He wants to work.
Pryor almost put him out with a stiff left jab.
You see Pryor smiling and not follow up. Lands a 4-count combination, backs off right at the bell, ending round number 2. And as we said, Pryor needs to work. He's planning on some big fights coming up. Disappointed. Here we see the last 10 seconds of round 2. Ted Pryor putting some combinations on and then backing up to be sure he doesn't knock out Herrance.
That's the sharpest I've seen Pryor look in his last 3 or 4 fights.
Well, I don't think it's that difficult to be sharp when you're fighting with an opponent who is extremely outclassed, as Rick Herrance was outclassed in that fight. Work.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a couple of easier fights, get ready for some tougher fights, and I was trying to carry him a little bit, but it just seemed like he couldn't take some body shots and warm out to the body, a couple to the head, and that's all it took, I guess. And I was trying to carry him for at least 4 or 5 rounds to get a little bit of workout, you know?
That's what it looked like to us here at ringside. Now, we were told, signaled by the center referee, that the fight was over. What was the reason for stopping the fight?
I think that Rick couldn't, he told me when he came to the center he couldn't breathe, so I think the body shots took a toll on him and just took the stamina right out of him.
Well, it didn't look as though he was lacking in technique. He was very polished. He had good body, muscular development, good techniques, the hooks, the uppercuts, covering well, but he didn't seem to have the heart to stay in there with you. You landed a hook kick in the first round that didn't even land on the boot. It was more on the calf, and he went down.
Right. He's a very young fighter. He's only had like 5 fights, and he's going to be a very good fighter and as the future comes on for him. He's only had like 5 or 6 fights. Like I said, he's very green. So when he fights someone that's got like 30, 25, 30 fights, it's very hard for him to subsidize that. He's very nervous, very scared. He gets hit a couple times, and he doesn't want his career to end early, you know? He just wants to be able to take it, you know, and get the little experience he can.
Now, you mentioned some fights coming up, some tougher fights coming up. What have you got in this future?
I'm looking for Biggs in November, the man that just fought Superfoot there. He fought him a real good fight. I'm looking to upset him, to beat him, to get into that world shot. Whoever wins between Rodney and Don.
And whoever, of course, Jean-Yves Theriault.
Right, and whoever wins between that fight, I want to fight the champion as soon as we know who the champion is.
Well, I wish you the best of luck. You really look sharp, sharper than I've ever seen you out there tonight, and I hope you continue with your tune-up fights and have a good shot at Biggs.
Thank you, Larry.
Congratulations on your win tonight. We'll be back with that world middleweight title run.
West Palm Beach, and has a lot of experience going for him, and you'll see that experience show in the way he paces himself there. The yellow robe, very popular in the South Florida area. Makes his home in Hollywood, Florida, originally from New York City. Herbie's a phenomenal guy. He's done a lot of fighting too. He's got 28 wins. Ted Pryor's with a yellow stripe down the side.
They start round number 1 without the bell.
Herbie Thompson throwing very hard kicks to the body when he throws kicks. He relies primarily with a front kick. Herbie Thompson has very, very tight muscles in his legs as a result of an injury that he suffered in Vietnam. Ted Pryor with a good high round kick. Herbie Thompson will plan on getting in close and carrying the fight to Ted Pryor in close, trying to keep him up against the ropes where he throws very powerful punches. Many people feel that Herbie Thompson is one of the strongest, physically strongest middleweights in the sport.
Look at it, look at it. Hello, baby.
Herbie Thompson throws his kicks the way a heavyweight would. Uses that leg like a stick. Just slings it up there, but it sure hits hard when it hits. You can hear him landing from here at ringside.
Work the body, Herb.
Ted Pryor using his boxing skills in close, not hurting Herbie Thompson, but piling up a lot of points inside. Oh, hard punch then landing by Herbie Thompson with Ted Pryor up against the ropes.
for a middleweight, Herbie Thompson seems to be carrying a lot of extra weight around the midsection.
Yeah, Herbie is not very tall. Herbie's only 5'8". Like I say, throws a lot of power in his shots. Ted Pryor using the left jab now.
Well, when we asked him before the matches, he said he thought of himself as a slugger, and we see in round number 1.
Right. Ted Pryor trying to pick his shots at a distance and then cover up when he gets up against the ropes. That's good strategy for Ted Pryor.
Both fighters completed their minimum 8-kick requirement early in the round. They're still using their kicks down onto the body to set up their hands.
Oh, good right hand then landing by Ted Pryor right down the middle. Seemed to stagger Herbie Thompson a little bit. Herbie Thompson finishing strong with a right hand there at the end.
And that brings to a conclusion.
Pryor once again looking like he wants to stay out at a distance and then cover up. Looks like he might be in a little better shape than Herb Thompson, and that shape could really make the difference as this fight goes further on.
As you said, Joe, not a lot of finesse, but a lot of power in those Thompson kicks.
Like I say, he had an injury in Vietnam where he had some of those what they call punji sticks stick into his legs and through his knees, and that make his legs very, very tight. He can't bend over and touch his toes. Center referee Bill Clark giving a 1-point foul to Ted Pryor for throwing a punch at Herbie Thompson after he had gone down. It didn't land, but he threw it. He held back on it when he realized what was happening.
Makes absolutely no difference whether the punch hurts the fighter or not. If you throw a punch when he's on the ground, that's an illegal blow.
A good right hand, right hand combination in by Ted Pryor.
Hard punches by Herbie Thompson.
When they get in close, they're not fighting out, waiting for the referee to break them. Ted Pryor wisely not trying to wrestle with Herbie Thompson in close. That could take a lot of energy away. Good right hand to the body then by Herbie Thompson, followed with a right hand inside.
Get your hands up. Work again. Work again. Think about it.
Pryor is definitely the prettier of the two fighters. Herbie Thompson definitely the most muscular, using his weight to push Ted Pryor around.
Trying to manhandle Ted Pryor. Looks like Herb is not in as good a condition, though, as Ted Pryor is. And like I said, I think that condition is going to make the difference in this fight as it continues on.
This is a scheduled 7-rounder. We're in round number 2. Joe Corley, along with me, Larry Black, from ringside in Bradenton, Florida, in the Bradenton Municipal Auditorium. There's the end of round number 2, and we'll be back right after this.
Looks like Ted Pryor wanting to wait till Herbie Thompson tired himself out a little bit and then start putting more pressure on him, which is a sign of an experienced fighter. Herbie Thompson trying to get his kicks out of the way early in the fight.
Both of these fighters do have extensive experience for karate. 20 wins against 4 losses for Ted Pryor, 28 wins with 8 losses for Herbie Thompson, and only 1 draw. These fighters have what you call ring savvy. They know how to pace themselves for a 7-round fight.
Both these fighters with the record to determine that would justify their determining the Florida Middleweight Championship. Perhaps not the best matchup in styles in the world, knowing that Herbie Thompson likes to get inside and punch, and that Ted Pryor will wait to press his advantage.
It's definitely the butterfly against the bumblebee. Ted Pryor dancing and trying to use his finesse and punching and kicking ability. Herbie Thompson just wading in, trying to use his weight, his strength. At this point, how do you have the round scored, Joe?
I had given both fighters the first round 10-10, the second round 10-10, so I've got a 20-20 unofficial score now. Here again, you see Herbie Thompson really trying to throw his weight in at Ted Pryor as he's lunging in. He's doing a lot of leaning on Ted Pryor when he gets him against the ropes. Pryor with a good jab then. Another good jab then by Pryor, with then Thompson coming in throwing really hard shots when he gets him up against the ropes.
Jab. Get your hands up. Jab. Double it up. Double it up. Kick under it.
That's the end of round number 3. The scheduled 7-round bout for the middleweight state title for Florida. As you were saying that, we had a picture of Herbie Thompson. Here's a picture of Ted Pryor. He's ready to go for round number 4. Round 4. Herb Thompson and Ted Pryor for the middleweight championship of Florida. State title.
Hands are up. Jab and kick.
PKA, full contact karate.
Jab and kick. Feel it.
Oh, good kick to the body then thrown by Ted Pryor. Oh, good side kicked into the arm by Herbie Thompson. Pryor doing a little showboating now, holding the jab out, holding the right hand out, and then going with a jab. Pryor picking the pace up a little bit this point in the round.
Let him raise that hand around. Jab and go. Keep your hands up.
Ted Pryor is talking to Herbie Thompson now, taunting him.
Get your hands up. Undercut him. Undercut him. Think about it. Think about it.
Herbie Thompson's corner giving him instructions, telling him to undercut Ted Pryor, wanting him to get under the jab. Pryor is now doubling up on the jab. When he hears a man wants to come under it, then he doubles up on it. That's a good move on his part. And Herbie Thompson still trying to land that big shot, trying to finish it with one blow.
Tremendous upper body development on Herbie Thompson.
Herbie Thompson used to weigh 195 pounds and came down to the middleweight division, and he's brought that strength down here with him. I think his schedule with the kids prohibits him from doing the kind of training that he would like to be prepared for the full contact karate. Herbie is now 31 years old. Ted Pryor is only 21 years old.
Hands are up. Work the body. Cross him right over. Cross him over. That's it. Hands are up.
That's the end of round number 4, and we'll be back right after this. 21 years old, 31-year-old Herbie Thompson on the left of your screen. Well, Joe, we've seen a lot of action in this fight. No one's been hurt so far, but either of these fighters has the capability of taking the other fighter out with one blow.
Yeah, Ted Pryor is using more of the strategy of picking with a number of shots. And every time he throws a jab out, Herbie Thompson will close in on him, grab, and then try to throw the punches in tight. In the last round, I gave the round marginally to Ted Pryor by 10-9 by virtue of the fact that he started landing some of his jabs in that round, and Herb Thompson seemed to give out a gas. Pryor now landing the shots in close. Good short hook in thrown by Ted Pryor. Good right hand, good left hand then thrown by Ted Pryor.
Pryor seems to have gotten his confidence. He can hit Herbie Thompson when he wants to, so he's nailing those shots.
Yeah, Pryor using that jab much more effectively now.
Work that body. Hands are up. Come on, Herbie. Get mad. Get mad. Body, body. Come on, turn it up. Turn it up. Push it out and kick.
Larry Black along with Joe Corley. We're in round 5 action of a scheduled 5-rounder. That's a minimum 8 kick per round kick requirement. Both fighters have met it. And they are slugging it out in the corner right above us.
Keep your hands up. That's the idea. Get under those points. Hands are up. Hands are up. Bring them straight up.
Ted Pryor using the boxing skills there inside with a right uppercut, followed a left hook, tight. Good right hand in by Pryor as he caught Thompson coming into the corner with him.
Hands are up.
That's the end of round number 5. That round seemed to me to be not landing them. Round number 6, our next to final round, scheduled 7-rounder. This is for the Florida State middleweight title.
Work them out. Hurt them. Hands are up. Hands are up.
Ted Pryor
That's it. Move around.
has good techniques. He has good punches. He has good kicks. He's, for some reason, I don't know what reason, hesitating to put him together against Herbie Thompson. I don't know if he's real wary of the power that Herbie's likely to throw after or what. When you have that kind of advantage, though, of being able to kick well and punch well, if you use it, you're generally a lot better off. But just periodically, you'll see Pryor throw a flurry inside tight, and the rest of the time, he's just kind of content to throw an occasional picking move.
Thompson's landing those left hands now, Joe. He's waiting on Pryor to kick, and then he's coming in with that left hook, and it's landing right on the chin of Ted Pryor.
Pryor's hanging his leg up in the air. As he picked up that left leg, he's hanging it up in the air, giving Herbie Thompson a chance to come behind it with a hard left hand.
Work his body, Herb. Work his body.
Good uppercut inside then by Ted Pryor.
For the first time in this bout, I think Ted Pryor has been hurt by Herbie Thompson. A couple of those left hands and one right hand did land a few seconds ago, and Pryor doesn't seem to be as sharp as he was.
Herbie ducking under that left jab then as he came in, sticking his own jab in Pryor's face. Looks like Pryor has let Thompson lean on him too much.
There's another one of those right hands.
Pryor just not using the skills that he has to his advantage the way he could. Doing all that time in there wrestling, he should be out punching and kicking from the outside.
That brings to a close round number 6 as we saw Herbie Thompson.
Also really high kicks. Ted Pryor hanging his kicks up in the air, not throwing them with a lot of speed and velocity.
Fighters bump gloves as they get ready for the 7th and final round.
Ted Pryor acting like he wants to fight in this round.
Herbie Thompson throwing hard kicks but not landing on target. They're hitting the hands and the hips and the elbows of Ted Pryor.
Herbie Thompson's specialty in point karate, Larry, because of his inability to kick, is in going in and sweeping his opponents down, which is illegal in full contact karate since the ring floor is not as soft as you would have it for sweeps.
I have to say to his credit that every time Ted Pryor attempts one of those kicks, Herbie Thompson moves in right behind it, so he's not able to double up on the kicks or use the kicks to keep him away effectively.
Move him out, and that's what you got to do. Jab and crossover. Jab and crossover. 1 minute. Push him away, Herb.
Because of the way he's fought, Pryor's not been able to use his kicks effectively from outside. If I were in his corner, I think I would have told him to be using some good front kicks and side kicks into the body from a distance to try to keep Thompson out. Yet he's gone with the round kicks and hung them up in the air, and then Herbie Thompson's come inside those round kicks and landed some of the left hands.
Body drill.
These fighters are tired. Both fighters have met their minimum 8 kick requirement. They seem to be concentrating mainly on the hands. The hands take less energy to throw. This has not been a pretty fight to watch. As you pointed out, Ted Pryor is the pretty fighter, and Herbie Thompson is the animal. He comes in pushing and shoving and throwing those hard, stiff leg kicks. And there's the bell. The fighters still fighting at the end of the 7th and final round. So the state title of Jim Thompson.
Ladies and gentlemen, the results are in from our judges. Your attention, please. Judge Wilson scoring the fight 68-67 Pryor. Judge Knobloch scores the fight 68-67 Pryor. Heinberger 68-65 by unanimous decision. The new Florida middleweight professional Ted Pryor.
A very happy Ted Pryor. The audience not really thrilled with his performance, but Ted Pryor is really a good fighter.
Judge Spearman scores the fight 88-84. Judge Pate scores the fight 85-89. Judge Sawyer scores the fight 85-89. The winner by split decision, Ray McCallum. I'd like to remind everyone to stay here. Everyone stick around after the fight.
scores 39-38. Ball for the winner by unanimous decision. Mr. Ted. Let's hear it for A.W. Manhattan, ladies and gentlemen. Just so you understand,
Wasn't busting like that. I know that. Yeah, I know that too. Yeah. You guys didn't do it yesterday either. Fucking guys all out.
Hi, Harv. He's sorry, they're playing all these love songs.